dig into this file. We have here a very big index because there's a lot on this file. So majority of the mechanics and rules are subject to change. This is important, right? This is the first phase of the game, right? This is the thing. The worst part, like the hardest part on doing the game, right? I think any game, but in our case, we are building everything from the ground up, right? We are not using like a library, from Unity and just putting there some 3D assets. We are doing everything on our own. So uh, the most difficult thing is having everything working, and then we can upgrade this game non-stop, right? Like we can add content every week. We can do major release, with new mechanics. So this is the interesting part. We will give you a first playable version, and then we are going to upgrade the fuck out of it, basically. So this is explaining that. This is a very cool screenshot that we have for the game. You can see this is a bit different than the gameplay trailer that we had. This is because we are polishing a lot of the things. You see now we have the trace level. We have a very cool icon that it's the eye of Adonis watching at you. But these symbols help to show everything right about the game much easier. You have in the lower left, you will have your buffs and debuffs, and you will be able to see how many data packets you have for that run, right? All right, so here we explain a little bit, what is a crypto runner. So yeah, the crypto runners are our main collection, right? Oleg, do you wanted to say something? Sorry,
Yeah, it's all good. I'll just be jumping
yeah,
in from time to time.
yeah. I speak a
Do
lot,
you
so
actually?
feel free to interrupt.
That's perfect for the dev and founder. If you just go up for a minute back
Yeah.
to the first slide, and do you want to tell everybody a little bit more on what we can see on the grid actually? Like, what is this amazing, super duper cool looking eye with wings? What kind of stuff is that?
Well, this one is if you see here in the right, in the lower right, this is a Sorano M3. This is an ice. Um, this one, it's a watcher eye, right? The ice has three types. We are going to reach there in the file soon, but this one is a watcher type of ice, and this is one of the most cool looking ones. I mean, look at this. It reminds me a lot of like Digimon, like these big angels. But all right, this is the ice that you are facing, right? And you have here the choices that you can in which you can interact with this ice. And according to what you choose, you will have different chances of things that are going to happen. So you will have to be constantly managing, um, how much trace can you risk, right? Because trace acts as your hit points, right? Um,
Yeah. So basically, you have some certain amount of resources that you can be using during the run, and you will be in charge of managing your own resources. As you can see, like some of these choices are more risky, where you need to be like considering that if you do this, maybe you will finish the run faster, maybe you will break the ice faster. But then, if you fail, and there's a chance for failure, you can increase your trace level, and it can be leading you to facing more obstacles on the way for the run, or even failing the run, and you will be disconnected from the grid, basically kicked out. So
exactly.
yeah, this is the part where you will be actively participating in the run. So again, one of the key features that I love personally like crazy, and every time when I'm talking to some other projects regarding the collabs, or we're talking to YouTubers um, to tell them more about our project, I always show them our gameplay demo, and I'm saying like, guys, this is not your typical P2E kind of stuff where you just press one button and then you come back in like 3 hours, you collect reward, that's it. No, this is a full-blown RPG fucking cyberpunk experience where you are literally participating in all the steps during your run. So this is like literally an RPG.
Yeah, I
where
mean, this
you're
is
in
explained
control.
here, like absolutely what you're saying, right? I mean, we this we are going to update this game until I mean our goal is having a full-fledged roguelike game, right? You are going
Yeah.
into this grid that it acts like a dungeon, right? And you are going node by node. You are going to choose where node to go. You are going to have different resources. I mean, the game it's going to evolve a lot more than what we're seeing here until you have a shop. It's one node, it's a shop, and you bring your data there and you buy programs and hardware. It will be a complete game and an immersive and entertaining game. We don't care about you only farming the token, right? The token is important because it is the main currency of our ecosystem, but we are really trying to uh, get into NFT space, a game that it's interesting for what it is, not only because it can earn you money or not, right? That is our main thing and will always be. So this is why um, I think this will really stand out in the NFT space, and yeah, it is a matter of time for people to notice all the value that we are proposing here, because NFT games right now are very, very bare bones and are very uninteresting, right? They are just about farming and doing one click.
Yeah, it's just for people to get something from it. But now you can be actually having fun playing game and get some aesthetic pleasure just from the art. Because, like, let's be honest, this is fucking dope. It looks amazing. And yeah, at the same time, you will be getting the token, which I don't want to spoil much, but okay, Mauro, you're spoiled it a little bit already. Like, um, it's not a secret. We were working on the special like black market,
Yeah,
where you will be able to purchase certain things, some certain things for data, and not to say exactly what, but those things will be used both in game, and some of those things will be outside of game.
yeah,
So the
exactly.
value will be in both digital and not digital worlds. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so
All
going
right.
forward, we have a small section in which we explain, right, what is a crypto runner. The crypto runner is our main uh, collection, right, of assets. These are TK 560 runners from 5 factions. Uh, this is a collection that it's very, very varied. You can see the hand painted style that they have, and the different bases that we have. It's not the same base with a lot of different traits, but multiple bases. So we are really proud of artistically what our runners represent, right, in the NFT space. But they are also the players of the game, right? So if you want to play the game, you need one of these guys to actually get into that grid and steal that data from the corporations. So these runners have different stats, right? Let's talk about the big one, right? The talent stat. Of course, they have a lot of stats because they have a lot of traits, right? Because they are different, they look different, and they can be more rare or less rare. But talent, right? Let's talk about talent. Talent, it's the biggest uh, thing that makes a runner rare, because for example, a talent 10, there is only 1% of the entire collection that it's talent 10, right? So um, the
I
talent
don't
will
have it,
modify. Sorry.
and I don't have one.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get one, and they are pretty expensive as well right now on secondary. But the thing about talent is that having more talent will affect slightly your chance of good resolutions, and it will also affect bad resolutions to make them less probable, right? So each time you choose an option in the game that has chances of things happening, there will be a slight different boost, right, or nerf on your chance accordingly to your talent, right? So this is not game breaking, but the jump for 9 talent to 10 can be a little bit a bit wider, so to speak. And also talent 10, it's special because we might have some more special things in the future that are even outside of the game for the talent 10, right? Because they represent runners that can be legendary, right? Because they have the talent to do so, right? But that is something I won't spoil, and it's for future. So
Nice. Yeah, this
uh,
part
yeah.
even I didn't know.
Yeah. So factions. Well, each runner
No,
has one of 5
sorry,
factions.
sorry, I
Yeah.
just cut you
Tell
for
me.
a
Tell me.
sec. There was a person was asking the question regarding what happens if we run out of resource during the run. So
Right. Well, it depends on which resource, right? Right now, the only resource that you're using inside the run is the trace, right? The trace level. You are starting the run at 0 trace level, right? And trace level is going to be raising. It will be increasing as you make decisions in the run. As the eyes start to spot you, the trace level will increase, and when it reaches a certain point, which is the threshold level, which is this red cross that you can see here in the last um, trace level here, if you reach that trace level, you are kicked out of the server. You lose the run. The runs will end as failed, and you will not get any of the data that you have accumulated until that point. So it is very risky, right? You will have to constantly be checking your trace and choosing accordingly, because there are more risky choices and less risky ones, right? You can see it on this example here, right? The one in the bottom is it's very low risk, right?
yeah, so you need to be really evaluating your like risk reward ratio. Like if you feel greedy and you feel lucky today,
Exactly.
for example, someone in our Discord server, someone from the team told you like, I'm buffing you with good luck for today. You can try and go like really hard and try to get some more rewards. And but yeah, you are always at risk of failing, just like in a gamble. So you need to evaluate that by yourself. If you
Yes.
fail, as Mauro said, you will be kicked out from the server. Maybe you will be kicked out from Discord server and banned too, and your crypto runner will be taken away
No,
from you.
no, no, not that. Not that, not that. But in the future, nastier things can happen than being disconnected. But I won't spoil. Uh, I mean, you know that black ice exists, right? And that is
Oh yeah.
the real dangerous ice, right? So, but let's keep going, because this is a very very big file. So the runners will have a clock, right? The clock, it will act as the energy points of your runner, right? So if you think about other games like Axie, for example, they have this energy system, right? That will limit you how much can you play and get rewards, right? This is to make a sustainable economy and and have a game that it's balanced in what you do each day. So the runners have a base clock of 100. This clock regenerates over 24 hours each day, but it will be in real time, so hour by hour you will have more clock to make more runs, and runs will have a cost in clock that will be variable in the different runs. For the first phase, this one we are releasing first, the actual cost will be always the same for the run, and we are still balancing it out. So, but in the future there will be other types of runs, and you will have to choose. All right, with the clock I have, I can do this run or this run, or should I do 3 of these runs and 1 of this one? And also clock will be modified by gear, right? And also by conditions that are good buffs or bad buffs or debuffs that you can have for your runner. So this gear, we talked about the clock a lot when we talked about consoles and land, right? Because consoles and land, when we implement them, they are going to increase your clock, so you will be able to play more, right? And get more data. We have the notoriety level that it's actually acts as your level, right? Think about any RPG. Well, you have the level of your character, right? And this one represents like the experience that your runner has doing runs, and also the fame, right? Like notoriety is what is the fame of this runner, right? So doing things that can make you more notorious in game will give you more notoriety points. So for example, if you beat an ice that it's a sentinel, that it's an ice that it's more dangerous than other ice, right? Because they actually attack you. You will get sometimes a buff to your notoriety points, right? So in that run, you will get more notoriety points because you did something that it's worth, other people know about that. So that it's notoriety level. Notoriety points is to level up. And conditions, it's something that it's not on this first phase, but it will be implemented right away in the next update, because this one is status, conditions that your runner has that affects different things. They can affect things for the next run. For example, there is one condition that will make your next run start on a trace level higher, right? So you will start the run and you will be already on trace 2, right? Because this is a bad condition that you have, that you are, for example, pinned down, right? Like the corp already knows more about your location, so the next run you are going to start it with a disadvantage, right? So this is a cool thing, right? We can do a lot of things with conditions. We can buff the regeneration of your clock, for example, or we can make it slower. There are a lot of things that we are planning to do with conditions. So that was for the crypto runner. So yeah, I don't know, Kaspiy, do you have any comments on this? Any questions that you are seeing maybe the community have about the crypto runner and the stats that crypto runner has?
Yeah, someone just posted a question. So that makes me curious. Will the notoriety level and NP carry over? Hypothetically, if I was to buy a new runner on secondary, would I essentially receive those points and level? Oh, that's
Yes.
interesting.
Yes, exactly. The notoriety points and level, it's something that it's tied to the runner ID. So if you sell the runner, you will sell it with the level and everything in that regard. Yeah, and the conditions.
And the notoriety level, will it somehow affect the amount of rewards?
In some way, because I mean, it doesn't affect the run parameters itself for data gain, but it affects which runs can you access, right? So if there might be runs that can have more rewards, right? but they need
Yeah.
a certain notoriety level for you to do it, right?
All right.
So
So actually,
that would be the main use right now for notoriety. But of course, in the future, we can come up with new ways to using it, right?
mm, yeah. So just to clarify, so it doesn't have the direct effect on the amount of data you will generate, but it instead opens you the access to more advanced runs where you can get more data just for completing those runs.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, so making a run, right? This is what the game is going to be about, the main gameplay loop. It's making a run, right? The run will act as this dungeon that we are going to be exploring in cyberspace, right? So these attacks that we are doing on a corporate server, that are these runs, they occur in the grid, right? The grid is the virtual reality landscape in which you are connecting to and you are like projecting yourself into, right? It's basically like that, virtual reality, but in a way much more immersive than what we have today, right? You are really connecting and your neurons are connected, so every uh, feeling that you can have in the grid feels real, right? So this is why some eyes can hurt you, right? They can really hurt your brain and send you pain and everything as if you would be there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the representation in the retro style aesthetic that we like of the grid, right? And this, of course, can also be improved in future phases of the game, but this is what we have right now. And this is the node map that we have, right? Because the run it has like multiple scenarios, and each one of them it's a node, right? So this one it's a very simple map, right? This one is only 2 nodes, right? It's like 4 nodes total, but it has one fork, in which you have to choose where to go. Um, but imagine that in the future, this will be like a full-fledged dungeon, right, in a roguelike experience of a game. So you will have a huge node map, and you are going to be advancing in this node until you reach the end, right?
Yeah, there will be lots of forks where you can basically like make different decisions. If you remember some of our quests, I believe for guild,
Yeah.
where you could have been choosing different scenarios or different actions, and they were leading you to different situations where you can find yourself, and then different finale. So that was like the very infant state of what we're planning for the game.
Yes, exactly. All right. So let's keep going. So the run has some traits, right? Some things that identify it, right? So a run has layers, right? So when we talk about layers, it's the amount of nodes that it has, right? So if it is a longer run, it has more layers or less layers, right? So for the first phase, we are aiming to have around 7 layers or something like that. Maybe a bit less, right? Because this is the first iteration, but we are going to be making bigger runs and 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 making more deep runs, as we develop the game further and as you also increase your notoriety level. So yeah, the runs will have a requirement for notoriety, right? For the first phase, there will be no requirement because everyone is going to be starting playing the game for the first time. They will have a clock cost. This is what we were explaining, right? And we will have a corporation, right? Because when you run, you are going to be running against a corporation server, right? So the interesting thing about the run being from a certain corporation is that the encounters that you are going to find in that run will depend, a lot of them, not every, but a lot of them will depend on that corporation, right? So you know that on 2112 we have 5 corporations, the big 5 as we like to call them. Uh, you have all the information about them in the website, right, and in the archives for our wall building. But each of these ones have a theme, like Karaguchi is the Japanese one, then you have Warlord Industry that it's like medieval and military, So the idea is that it feels thematic, that when you are running a server from a certain corporation, you are encountering things that make sense for that corporation, right? And that will
And
be
they all look
amazing.
different.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So for example, that eye with wings, um, that's the eyes from one corporation. And then when you're running against the
Exactly.
other one, their eyes can be looking completely different. As Mauro just mentioned, um, the medieval style, like there you can see medieval warrior or like Romanian warrior with a shield and stuff. So here, also the space for development and for art design and art style here is tremendous. And also, not only the eyes will be changing, but as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but the grid itself will be changing too. So what you can see like on the background, the cities, the buildings, everything, this
Yes.
will be all changing depending
For
on the
example, this
corporation
city.
you're
Yeah,
running against.
exactly. That
Amazing.
also can change, and also the other type of nodes, right? Because right now we are only talking ice, but there will be more types of ice, right? There will be stories that you are going to play inside a run. There will be random events that can happen, as in any roguelike, right? If you see, I don't know, faster than light, for example, you have these random events that happens, and something good happens or something bad, and or something that you have to make a choice. So yeah, there will be a lot of branching out and a lot of stories that you are going to play on each run, right? And it will be very, very thematic and immersive into the server that you are hacking, right? So there is a trace level threshold for the run. So each run will say to you at what point, at what level of trace the run is ending, right? So this will add more difficulty to a run or less difficulty, right? Because if I say to you the trace threshold for this run is 5 trace, then you have to be really, really careful, because if you get 5 trace, you are out instead of 10, for example. Um, you will have the notoriety points reward, right? Because notoriety points will be earned at the end of each run. They are something that each run, you complete the run and you get notoriety points as reward. Uh, there will be different things that will modify how many points you get. We can't disclose that yet because we are still balancing that out and designing it. But for now, there will be a fixed amount of points that you're going to get if you complete the run. And if you fail the run, you are getting notoriety points as well, but you are getting only half of the total that you would get, right? Um, and the data reward, right? This is what everyone wants. The actual token, ERC20, that we are going to release alongside with the game. I want to also mention the tokenomics, the full tokenomics for this token is going to be revealed very soon, probably in 1 week or 2 weeks, um, because we are already in the finishing steps of designing it. This will be a hard cap supply token with a vesting period, so the tokens will be minted in waves, and this will be planned from the beginning, so you have security that this token will be safe in a way that it won't be minted all at once, right? And we can do whatever we want with that. So it will be very good for the people to know, to have this security, right? Even though this is not a financial instrument, you know, like everyone knows, right? This is not financial advice, and this also have no intrinsic value, right? This the data token doesn't have an Ethereum value, but it has value in what it represents in our ecosystem and for the entertainment purposes of the entire 2112 run project, right? So you are going to get data rewards. We are going to say to you, you know, this run, you can earn this data, this amount of data, this range of data on any given run, right? So this is something that will be disclosed as well before you choose which run to make. Not in the first phase, right? In the first phase, you are going to do a run. You are not going to choose any run. You are just going to click make a run, and you're going through the run, right? We wanted to make it very simple and for you to start learning how to make a run, right? So you are not going to choose which run to make.
We will be having like a small tutorial basically for people to understand how it all works. Try,
yes,
get
exactly.
kicked out a few times without being punished too much.
Right. So if we get deeper into the run, we have the structure of the run. It's an entry point. The first node, it's always called entry point, and it will show you a little bit. It will tell you more about the story, you know, of the run, like how did you get into that server, you know, and what is there in the server that it interests you to get, you know, what is the data that you can get there. Then you have any number of random nodes, right? This could be ICE nodes, this could be story nodes, different types of nodes that we are going to have in further phases. Right now it's only ICE nodes that are these, I'm going to explain those later because they are in detail in this file. And the last node is a mainframe node, which is the end of the run, right? Like you reach the mainframe, there it is, the price for you to get the final file, right, that you are going to get from that corporation that you are going to steal. So the mainframe is always the last node and represents that final price, right?
So can we say it's basically
Yeah.
like a final boss of the dungeon?
Something like that, because right now it's not a boss, right? Because it's how are you going to pick up that final reward, that final file, right? So let's say it can be a bolt, right? Like the door of a big vault, and you have to break it in some way. So it doesn't act like a final boss, but for now it is. But you are making me leak things because we are going to have bosses. We are going to have ICE that will be bosses, and it will be much more complex than what we have right now. But I don't want to keep spoiling things, so let's say that for now they act like the final
Yeah,
encounter.
let's leave it for another RNR.
Yeah, exactly. So trace level, right? This is why we already explained. So this is in detail for anyone that wants to read it. Of course, I already explained it. The trace is what it's going to be increasing as you go through the run. And if you get to the threshold trace, you lose. Basically, this is your hit points, so to speak. So exiting a run, this is something that it's important. So how do you exit a run? If I started a run, how do I exit the run? So the only way to finish a run right now is to finish it, right? You either fail it, reaching the threshold of the trace level, or you finish it successful. So you reach the mainframe, you resolve the mainframe node, and you finish the run. This is the only way to exit a run. So if I'm on a run and I sell my crypto runner in the middle of a run, the person that bought that crypto runner is going to log into the game and it's going to continue the run from when the actual owner had that run, right? So this can be a little bit tricky to think like, oh, but if I buy a runner, I would like to have it, not in a run, like because I don't know what the fuck happened on that run, but we really wanted to make it this way because we don't want people to be able to abuse anything about the system of the game, right? Like saying, all right, I start a run, and then if the run is not going well, I will just sell my runner, and that will interrupt my run in a like cheating, in a non-formal way, right?
Yeah, there
So
are
yeah,
ways to abuse this kind of stuff. So
yeah, there are a lot of ways to also, when we have consoles in the future and items, right? You would be like, if the run would would not continue, then I could, for example, start a run and then give my maybe my console to another runner, and then the other runner use the console, but I'm still in the run, So this is why we're always thinking and implementing ways to avoid people cheating, right? Because this is a blockchain game, right? So it can't be cheated. If you can hack this game, then the game is destroyed, right? Our economy would be destroyed. I mean, the game has to be completely a black box in that way of the back end, right? This is why the front end will only work step by step, and our back end is going to be encrypted, and only feeding the front end on each step of the way. So
yeah, we will
this
be having
is
our own eyes to prevent that.
yes, exactly. So yeah, this is the way you exit the run. So this is an example of being busted. You have the trace level up to, in this case, 10, which is the threshold in this example. So you get that 10th trace level, you're out, right? You're disconnected and you're losing all the data that you got on that run.
And you're banned.
Yeah.
I just love throwing these jokes in.
No, you're not banned from everywhere. You are kicked from the server. You might be banned from the server in the future. There might be a condition that bans you from that server, so you can't try again to run that server. But again, that is future thing. I won't spoil more of those things. So this is an interesting part, the data, right? The data packets. You will have small data packets, medium data packets, and large data packets. So while you play the run, each choice that you make might give you data packets, right? So you are going to accumulate those packets in the run. Your runner will be accumulating those. And at the end of the run, if you finish it successfully, you resolve the final node, the mainframe, you are going to open these data packets and see how much data do they have inside, right? So this will be a very cool mechanic that will be very, fun, like you finish the run successfully, you are like, oh, okay, I did it. And then you are going to click each one of these packs and you are going to see how much data this pack has, right? Because of course, these are 3 different types of data packets, but they have a range of data that they can have, right? That it's bigger depending on how bigger the data packet it is, right? So yeah, this would be a very fun mechanic and way to get your data, your GC data, before ending the run.
Can you, this is a question personally from me.
Yeah.
Can you basically store these packets instead of data in your inventory? So for example, I want to because I'm a trader in real life. I like trading. So for example, I'm just like, oh, okay, I want to trade data and I want to collect 10 large data packets, and then I want to sell it to somebody who will be really interested in purchasing something in the market. There's something particular in the market that needs lots of data and someone is looking for that, and I'm like, yo, buy it from me. So
well,
is it the case?
No, in the actual data structure that we have for the game, these are only useful in the run, right? You can't take them home because you open this always at the end of the run, right? So you won't be able to trade this in packets. Not for now. Maybe in the future we implement some kind of making packs of data, but for now, this is the way that we have, right? We open all the packs before ending the run. After you open the packs, you will send the transaction to the blockchain, right? To the Matic mainnet Polygon. And this transaction will give you the amount of data tokens that you opened in the packs, right?
Okay, perfect. So this is basically more honest, I would say, because if you're planning to trade data, like people can see exactly how much data they will be getting.
Exactly. Here. What you take home is the actual token. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, there's a question.
Yes.
Person's asking, can I pause during a run? Like if I'm trying to eat a chivito and spill shit everywhere, can I pause a run?
I like that. I like that reference. So, yeah, you can. I mean, the run is it's there forever, right? The run is there. So if you close the browser, if you go away and then come back later, the run is there, right? And when you have to make a choice, the game is paused, right? This is like a turn-based in that regard. So you don't have to worry about pausing in the right time or anything. You can just leave the run and then come back when you want to continue.
Perfect. Yeah, so if before you were worrying about that this is like a game where you need to be participating and there will be clock and you somehow might be locked in a game for some certain period of time, and if your, I don't know, wife, husband, child is calling you, or you have a work call and you won't be able to pause it, you will be. You're safe. You won't lose anything. You can start when you feel comfortable. You can continue playing when you feel comfortable. You can take a break. I don't know, drink water, stay hydrated, all that
Yes,
kind of stuff.
very important.
You won't be losing anything for postponing your decisions. The only thing is again, it all comes down to your management of your resources, both in game and outside of the game, which is like your time. So it's totally up to you.
Yes, exactly. So notoriety points, this I already explained. If you are successful, you get the full points. If you fail, you will get only half. And we enter nodes, right? We already talked about nodes, but here they are all explained for you to check out when we upload this file. You have all the information here. So let's go a little bit again on this. The entry point will be the narrative, it will tell you how the runner get into the server, what are you trying to hack, where the server is located, which corporation. The corporation affects which ICE are you going to encounter, because each corporation has its own developed ICE that they use, that it's thematic to their own aesthetic. You have the mainframe node, and this is interesting. The mainframe node has two types, that it's bolts and mazes. So what do these represent? So bolts are big bolts, right, that the runner has to break in to get the prize. So for example, a safe box, or for example, a big door, a big bolt door from a bank, right? Those that have the big wheel, to open. So your runner will have to use some program to break into that bolt and get the final data. But the maze, it's different, right? Because the maze is not something that you have to break in. It's something that it's open for you, right? So let's say, for example, a big library, right? It's open for you. You can enter the library, but how do you know what you have to get? How do you know where is the final file that you need, the final data that you came to look for? So this is the two main differences thematically for the mainframe, right? That we have currently on the game.
Nice.
And we have the ice nodes, right? Our main bread and butter currently in the game, and we always be like that because ice are the spirit, of hacking things, and this is from William Gibson, and it's always like this, and it's the thing we love, ice. These are these defensive programs that the corporation have that can be represented in endless possible ways in the grid because this is virtual reality, right? So you can have mythical creatures, you can have a simple object, you can have a big dragon, it can be anything. And we have three types, as we were saying. We have the bouncers. These are the ones that are a roadblock, a literal roadblock for the runner, So you have to go through the wall in some way, you have to solve the maze, you have to jump over the pitfall, you have to cross it, because if not, you are blocked in that way. So we have here a very nice example with this, I think this one is Karaguchi's. This is a spirit on a wall. It is a very creepy one, and we love it, so this is why we highlight it here. We have the Watchers, right? We have this one that is our favorite as well, the big angel eye. This one won't block your way. I mean, you can go past it, right? But they are seeing you, they are spying you, and they are analyzing all your code and your data and what you have and what you have not. So these ones, you can't ignore them, because if you ignore them, they are going to raise the alarm, right? They are going to see you. So the different choices that will regard the Watcher eyes will be more about maybe hacking it, and using it on your own benefit. So maybe you can hack the Watcher eye and look at the grid from its own standpoint, and be informed about what is coming next on the next node, So this is represented in different buffs and the buffs that we can have in the run. This is also explained here. Not every buff in particular, because that is going to be released when we actually release the game. So you know what each effect does. But yeah, this is more like that, right? An ice that is watching you. And then you have the Sentinels. These are the big guys. These are the most dangerous eyes, because these are the eyes that attacks you, right? They are not watching you, they are not blocking you, they are attacking you. They are pointing you with their sword, or they are pointing you with their fangs. So these ones, you will have to fight them. They will be more risky than other eyes to fight them, or you will be able also to maybe hide from them, or you will be also you can also dodge them, and keep running through the next node. So this will be very interesting. And we have here one for Karaguchi, one example, that it's a guardian that has a bow and a big staff, and he can hit you very hard. No, I think no. This one it's like a staff, right? Because if you see, it go way beyond the arm.
Oh yeah, I see them.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that is my cat. I saw someone was saying. Now they are fighting each other. I have two, and they will. They get a bit excited when I talk about the game, and they start fighting.
These are the first creatures you were telling your ideas about, like, guys, yes. I have this amazing idea of 2112.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So have a question here.
Yeah.
So the one that is more easy right now, I think, is what variables are in place to make each run different and unique?
All right. So for now, the variables that we have are different effects. I'm going to, well, it is actually what I'm going to explain right now. So when you make a choice in the game, you have different resolutions. So things that trigger, right, with that choice. Like that choice, it's something thematic that you are going to do. For example, take some time to fool the watcher using a mirror morph program and pass through. That is the narrative thing that you're doing. But in the game mechanics, this will have outcomes, right? Resolutions, we call them. So the different resolutions that we have right now is increasing or decreasing trace. It's gaining data packets and getting buffs and debuffs that modify next choices, right? So let's say, for example, I have the informed buff, then I will have more percent chance of getting a packet, a data packet, on the next choice I make. So you will constantly have to choose, these random choices that you can get on each of the eyes, and be thinking, all right, this buff will be good if I get it because I prefer this or that, for the strategy that you are playing at that moment. For now, for each run to be different, there will be plenty different eyes. So you will be encountering different eyes on each run, and that will vary the things that you can do and the things that thematically you encounter. So that it is for now, the different types of eyes. But on future phases, and not very in the future, like the future updates upcoming after the first phase, we will have more different nodes, type of nodes, right? So every run will be crafted differently, in a procedural way. So you will have different types of run and different things that you're going to encounter. So this randomness that each run has, it's what is going to give you a lot of freshness, to each of the runs. Like when you play a roguelike, right? That you play the same thing. It is the same game, right? But you feel it's different because you are encountering these different challenges, right?
Yeah. So just to summarize, right now the variables that are present right there are basically your actions and your choices that will be affecting like your future actions in the same run. And also there are different ices that you will be encountering, and these different ices will give you basically different challenges or obstacles that you need to defeat, go through. And later on there will be much more many things, some random events, random obstacles, and different kind of stuff that can make your experience like more and more unexpected, unique, and fresh in a way. So no run will be the same. That's a procedural generated dungeon, basically, if I'm saying it right.
Exactly, and this is these are the choices, right, that you're going to be presented, and you're going to have to analyze, like what do you prefer, right? You will also have here like multiple times, right? For example, this one, you have 80% of increasing trace, and then you have 60% of increasing trace, and this happens 3 times, right? So you are doing 4 checks against trace for this option. It's very risky, but you are also getting a lot of other things, right? But finishing this, right? This is very explained here, so you can read about this at any time. I want to address one question that it's important that I see here. Oh, sorry. I got something in my throat. So Red Foreman, it's saying, right, it seems like its balance is shifted to players more than investors. Could you address that? Meaning activity is rewarded, and this is more a game than a play to earn. This is absolutely right. This is more a game than a play to earn. We always disclose that from the beginning because we want to make a game that it's interesting for the players to play. This is why we are shifting. This is not your normal NFT project, and we are shifting into a game that it's actually interesting, aside from being able to be a good investment or not, because of the nature of crypto, right? The game is going to be entertaining and fun and interesting, and you will have to play it to make the most out of it, right? this is what is really valuable, in my opinion, because anything else is just DeFi, and this is, of course, it's got a little bit of DeFi because there are tokens involved, and these tokens are tradable, but to be honest, this is the future. I mean, having a product that people can really enjoy, right? And then they will play it because they enjoy it, and then it has value, right? Because it has demand. But this doesn't mean that we are not thinking about investors and thinking about passive income of not passive income, but passive generation of data, right? So this is the thing. We are trying to come up with some kind of system that let you gain data token space passively without playing the game if you want to. Let's say I want to spend my clock to gain data tokens and I don't want to learn the game and play the game and use time of playing the game. We are thinking of ways of doing that, either by some kind of a staking in a way that will be giving less data than playing the game. That is the main thing that everyone has to know. The most data that you can earn, it's playing the game, not staking, the runner. But we are trying to find ways to at least, if you are not going to play the game, be generating some data, right, in a lesser degree. But also we want to make people to be able to rent your crypto runner, right? So I can lend my crypto runner like a scholarship, I can have a lot of crypto runners. I can give it the permission to another person to play my crypto runner, and then we split, the data tokens that we are earning. That is something that we have on the plans, and we are going to make along the further down the line.
Yeah, I just want to add on top of that, just a small clarification. So, for example, if you love playing the game, like for example, but you're leaving for vacation or something, or you're really busy for a few days, or going for a business trip, whatever. So, keeping that in mind, we are working on this solution to make it possible to basically passively generating data. Of course, there will be a difference in the amount of data you will be generating, but we don't want you to feel like you're missing out if, and we don't want you to feel guilty for missing out if you're going like to hang out, or, life is happening. IRL is happening from time to time, or some have it more, some have it less, but nevertheless, you will still be able to get your data and you will still be able to generate your rewards. And regarding there were part of this question where, regarding ETH value, I just want to say there are lots of projects right now who's claiming that they will be having this particular thing, but most of them don't understand that to set up the actual liquidity pool that is backed up by, fiat or Ethereum, there's lots of legal work has to be done. Like, I'm not even sure that lots of jurisdictions in most of the countries are allowing that right now. It's quite a difficult process, but what can be done, basically the community itself can be contributing to that and making the basically the liquidity pool for internal ecosystem.
Yeah, but do know that we are aiming to support any liquidity pool, right? We know that's a thing that really helps, the game, and we really want to give value to everyone that it's investing the money in buying our assets. Of course, that works as any NFT project, but our project needs a more active, player to make use of the assets to actually make the most of data, right? But that will also be changed with time, right? Because the land gameplay that we have planned for down the line for the um, phase of the project, land will let you rent your land, and will also have a lot more ways of generating passive data tokens with things that you are going to install in the land, right? So you are going to install in the land a huge data mining server, and you are going to get passive from that. But that is coming farther down the line. Um, and and yeah, I think that will be very exciting because there will also be a lot of ways for whales to play, right? Much more
Oh
than
yeah,
now.
that's
Even now they can, right? And I mean, the thing about lending the crypto runner, it's something that we want to do uh, faster, right? Like we want to have it very fast because we know that a whale, let's call it whale, right, can have 20 runners and maybe doesn't have time to play the 20 runners, so he can lend
yeah.
to different people and do this kind of scholarship, right?
Yeah, and it can be cool. Like for example, you don't own your own runner for now, but you're really interested to try the game, and you'll be have chance to do that by just landing one runner, make your own run, and then you like the game. You're like, okay, I just want to have my own now. You go, you get yourself runner, and yeah, you're in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, just to touch a little bit of base regarding uh, the value and how it can basically be converted into real money or ETH. I know it's like super important for lots of people and for lots of NFT enthusiasts. Um, I'll just say this. As you remember, I mentioned that we will be having a marketplace where you will be able to spend your data. And if you're familiar with NFT space and marketplaces that were recently opened, I don't want to tell you directly what you will be able to get there. Um, but you know from experience and from other projects that there are certain things on marketplaces that you can get for a token and then pretty much convert it into ETH. Sort of convert. Like you still need to be plain smart. You still need to do your own research, right? Not financial advice, all this kind of stuff. But there will be things that potentially can generate you a good amount of ETH.
Yeah, exactly. And also remember that the root passes, right? These assets that people bought in advance, right? Because console and land are not still being delivered, right? And this is something that we disclosed that they are going to be further down the line, first consoles and then land. But these root passes for console and land, they are gathering tokens right now. They are passively gathering tokens that you are going to get
Oh yeah.
when you actually use that root pass. So this that will also compensate a lot for the early investment, right? For early believing in us and this project that is really different. I really don't think there is another project that is offering this kind of game right now. And I don't know that it's, of course, I'm the founder, right? And not financial advice, but things that are unique and that break the game are the things that later someone finds out, and then people start FOMOing in, and then suddenly you were early, so you made it. But of course, I can't do. I mean, it's not financial advice because I can't. I'm biased, right? I'm the founder, but anyway, you get my point, right?
Yeah, and guys, just for you to know, Maura is not just a founder, like totally new to NFT space kind of guy that has this amazing idea and started implementing. He's like, man, you traded like a lot. You made lots of stuff in NFT. Like you flipped a lot, and so he knows. the sentiment in the NFT space. He knows that trading in NFT space is like one of the most important moving forces. Then at the same time, we need to keep in mind that what we're doing with 2112 here. So we're basically merging two of these worlds. Like one is NFTs and another one is like gaming, and we're trying to make the most from both of them.
Exactly, but real
Not
gaming,
something that
right?
you
Not
already see.
not a. That is the thing, right? I of course I won't mention any project, but real gaming, right? A real game that it's entertaining and immersive and gets you to this universe that it's 2112, right? Not just
Exactly.
like doing one click and see what happens and then waiting for the token to generate. That it really is not a game. In my opinion, it doesn't have any kind of interaction, you know. So, uh, having said all that, I would like to continue because while this is all about the game, I also want to go through this part that it's very important, that it's the engineering, right, of our game. And this is a bit of innovative as well, right? Because you won't need bridging to play our game. Why? Because all the contracts managing the game and the stats and the resources are going to be contracts on Polygon that are pointing into the contract that it's on mainnet for the crypto runner, right? So you don't need to actually um, change the location of your crypto runner or breach it. You don't need to. You can do everything from contracts in Polygon. This is a huge breakthrough that will save a lot of problems technically and a lot of problems of gas fees as well. So you are going to be able to play directly the game on Polygon without having to do anything with your main asset. And also, you will only need one transaction right now for the game to play the game. It's one transaction that you are going to send to the Polygon blockchain when you finish the run, either successfully or not. And this one is going to impact every change on the contracts that are managing, the status of the game, of the crypto runners and everything. So yeah, we are very happy with this. We have Kfish working on the smart contract, and for the people who knows him, he's awesome. He's been helping Habibis lately for some of the contracts. He's actually like he knows how to hack contracts, so it's awesome to have him developing contracts for us. And yeah, well, he's part of the main team, right? The main core team. So he will be constantly doing these things possible, right? Like no breaching. You will play without breaching, and that is amazing. So yeah, here we have an example of gameplay. So you're going to enter the page. You're going to connect your MetaMask to Polygon. You're going to select your crypto runners on the Polygon, right? You won't be able, you won't be needed to go into mainnet because we are pointing into Ethereum mainnet. So you are going to select your crypto runner and you're going to click start a run. You're going to start the run. You're going to encounter these different eyes, choose your options, get your data packets. And at the end of the run, if you are successful, you are going to open that data packets to get the data. You're going to send the transaction to Matic mainnet. If you fail, you are not gaining data, but you are gaining some notoriety points. And then you're going to start another run if you want to, right? If you have the time, and also if your runner has the clock to do it. And that way you're going to start getting your data, getting to know the game. As I was telling you guys, this is a very first phase, right? And very simple. We are going to keep updating this weekly and bi-weekly with new content, with new mechanics, with new different types of nodes. So yeah, expect this to be bigger and bigger with time.
Cool. I don't know about you guys. I'm excited. Like, I again, I'm not I mean, I can be biased, probably, but basically the reason why I jumped in and joined the project and talked to the guys is because I was like super bullish and super excited. And when I see all these files, I'm like even more excited. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it looks super interesting. Even I'm a gamer. For a gamer, it looks interesting. I'm a trader. For trader, it looks interesting. So, like, tickles all the boxes for now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've seen some more questions.
Oh
So
yeah, right.
Cool Pets have been having problem with Polygon. To be honest, I'm not sure what happened with Cool Pets. I haven't been looking, but I'm not sure if that was a Polygon issue or if it was more like something about the code of their application. But yeah, I think every side chain right now has issues. Every layer two solution, sometimes with the performance, right? But it's something we really can't solve on your end on our end. But we can, of course, make the contracts in the best way possible to make them, affordable in gas fees. The transaction that well, Polygon it's very cheap in that regard, luckily, and we also want to make the smart contracts optimized, right, in a way that it doesn't break anything, right? But I really think we should be fine in that regard. So just to clarify, we won't need to breach our NFTs. Yeah, exactly. You won't need to breach your NFC from layer two. Sorry if I missed this, but there will also be NFTs outside of data in later phases tied into marketplace. Yes, exactly. In further phases, we will have items that will be tied deeply into the narrative of the universe and the different events that will happen in the world of 2112 as a universe. So there is one NFT that will exist that will be the hidden agenda of the corporation that will be very unique. And if you obtain it, you will have the power to change something about the narrative of the entire canon of the universe. So it will be very, very interesting. But that will come later because we need to have the proper framework, of the corporations servers, and debilitating the corporation servers and all the narrative set up, for that to happen. But that is something that will happen along the way. Um, well, and the other NFTs that you are going to buy with data, right? Like the actual programs that will go into your console, the actual hardware, when LAN comes, the actual things that you're going to install in the LAN. So yeah, there will be a lot of NFTs that will be part of the game, and the entire 2112 ecosystem as a whole. Sorry if this was answered earlier, but when does the clock timer start? When the runner starts the run or when the runner finishes the run? That's a very good question that we are still defining, but I think it will be when you start the run because that is something that we are going to be on our backend server, right? And then we are going to impact it in the blockchain, but we are going to do the calculations on when did it start, when did it end. But that is something that it's still to be confirmed.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, things like hidden agenda, chef kiss. This is wild. Glad to know you like it, MJ. We were checking your Twitch the other day, and it was awesome seeing you guys so invested in the project and talking about us. It's great for us. So happy to have you here, digging deeper into the project. All right, Kaspiy. Sorry, I talked a lot again, and
Oh, that's
go.
perfect. And I just slept like 3 hours today, so it's perfect that you're taking all the workload. I could just continue drooling and napping in my chair. Yeah.
All
I've
right,
seen these
so
questions
yeah,
popping up
this is
about the marketplace, right, and about the values. So guys, just this is like my personal favorite section, I would say, right now regarding the marketplace, because I'm always trying to raise different questions and different suggestions regarding it. Again, I can't tell you much right now, not because nothing is going on with it, but mainly because we're going to have these AMAs weekly, right? I need to store some of the info for the next ones, and I actually think I will be having some dedicated AMAs like regarding marketing and what's happening on the like collaboration side and everything. But just give you a hint, there will be more things in the marketplace than you can see, let's say, in Habibi's marketplace right now, or I don't know, Wave Catcher's marketplace right now, where you can basically just purchase white lists, right, for different projects. We are working on adding more things, like more different things that will touch different aspects of the game and also different aspects of your how to say it without spoilers.
I
Different
think we
aspects
can
of
we can
your
spoil it. It's a gift for people that are here with us. I mean, we can have consumable items as well, right? That you can
yeah.
pay with data, and maybe they can give you a condition. You know, as we were talking about conditions, right? That are a status that sticks to the runner, right? So you can buff your runner for the next run. There are endless possibilities in that regard as well.
And also, okay, if you're already going on this like spoiler area,
Yeah.
so regarding consumables, they can be used. Well, we're designing it right now, right? It's a concept, but what we're thinking about is these consumables can be used within our game, within our ecosystem, to buff your crypto runner, and also these consumables might be used by some of the projects that are partnering up with us, and they have their staking process or yielding process. So we're thinking on how to implement these consumables in order to basically engage players or communities from other projects to be interested in participating and purchasing these consumables from our marketplace. Something like that. But again, this is a concept. Don't take my word for it. We're working on it.
Yeah. A lot of things that we talk about obviously are concepts, and we really like to share because we really think our community appreciates all these cool ideas that we have, and all the execution that we are having right now, right? This is showing you that we are here, you know. It doesn't matter if we have still like it's like three quarters of supply still to be minted. We minted 1 quarter. We have a lot of funding to keep developing with the root passes that we also minted. So it doesn't matter for us. We are here. The sold out will come when the market state is better and when people see the value the project comes. I'm just sure about it, and I will say that as Mauro, that is my real name, not as Windy, the founder of 2112. This is something that I know it will happen, and yeah, I mean, uh, I just can't wait to for the NFT space to experience what we are going to offer here.
Totally doubling everything that Mauro just said. Don't even have anything to add, literally.
Hey, Jacob, my mice, how are you doing, man? How much will launch with the team cost?
Um,
Oh, I didn't
can
get
you
that
please?
one.
Uh, yeah. Can you please elaborate on the final question? And I think
Yeah,
we
we
will
are about
be
to wrapping it up.
closing.
I think we've been 1 hour and a half here talking nonstop. You probably are tired of me right now.
All right. Never mind. All right.
All right.
So, guys, in case you missed something, in case you tuned in a little bit later, this whole AMA or RNR was recorded. We will be posting it later on. I believe it will be available on YouTube.
Yeah.
And And the paper, the black paper, will of course be posted in our Discord, so you can take a look by yourself. You can go through all these sections and, take your notes, make your research and stuff, prepare your runner to get the biggest notoriety level and be cool.
Yeah. All right, that is all. Remember, nothing about this is financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes, and we are so excited to show this game. We are, believe me, that we are doing everything we can to just have this as early as possible. So stay tuned with us, and thank you a lot for being with us.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was cool sharing it all with you.